This Manderbot set unveils so many aspects of our reality. It can really open up our perceptions of how things work. I thought I'd make more videos um, so we can kind of understand a lot more of how problems can get solved, how to jump out of that same cycle that's causing all of these problems. We tend to look at problems. Do you solve the problem from bottom up or top down? And we live in a world where we've designed all problems to be solved top up. Basically, we want our governments. They're at the top, they're representing us, and we want them to solve the problem all the way down. The ones that have all of the money, the egos, the ones that can't even recognize that there is a problem because they have all of their stuff. They're eating well, everything's all good, and they have all of the money, and somehow we're going to expect them to comprehend there's a lot of problems in the world, and from the top down they're going to solve it. And that's just not going to happen. The ones at the top can't comprehend problems. They can only perceive things from their perspective, from their point of view. For example, a judge who's at the top, you think a judge is going to be able to see where justice is, but that's impossible because they're at the top. Their life is wealth. Which judge lives in poverty? They can't understand a poverty perspective. They can't relate that if you have two people in a room, let's just say two people in the room are representing everybody in the whole world, and only one person is entitled to food and the other person has no right to the food. Both have to eat. Is it wrong for the guy that has no entitlement to the food to actually steal the food from the guy that has the food? Or and then we're going to call it a crime. And is it criminal to value your body, and your body requires food to be able to live? Like, crime is not exactly what we think it is. And yes, crime is in so many different levels that we can perceive it as being totally wrong. But this is the root of the problem dealing with crime. Is there are people that have and there are people that have not. And the people that have, they teach those who have not how to be criminals. They, through different types of torture, through abuse, through telling you you're no good, telling you have no worth, then the have-nots just sort of say to the haves, well, if that's who I am, then this is how I'm going to act. If you think I'm a big horrible person, then let me show you how big and horrible I can be. Because those that have not throw so many names, so many suggestions at the have-nots, that these suggestions make them act out those suggestions. And then when it's reflected back on them through either sexual abuse or theft or gangs, or no matter what level of crime, it's been suggested by those that have for them to act that way. So do you think the ones that have are going to really wake up and see, oh, maybe what I'm doing is wrong? And with this Manderbot set, we all as human beings have to take responsibility that what is inside us is only reflected by those at the top. If you can kind of see that politicians, they're not responsible or accountable. But then look at yourself. Are you responsible and accountable? Do you watch what you purchase? Do you watch how you live your life? You know, what value do you have on yourself? If you don't have that, then it's reflected in the bigger picture. If you want your politicians to act responsible and accountable, then you have to act responsible and accountable. And there is an aspect of money is the sign of knowledge. Money is the sign of power. And if you don't have any money, then you have no knowledge and you have no value. And that's not necessarily true, because those that do not have tend to have a lot more knowledge of the bigger picture, because they're the ones that are living with it. They are the ones that have to solve more problems in order to survive. And to solve more problems without falling into the corruption, without falling into, you know, how you get your food without stealing it, without breaking any crimes, without doing harm to other people. These are genius people to be able to figure out how to work within society without breaking society laws and still being able to find food at your table every day. They're geniuses. They're solving problems on a regular basis. The ones at the top are creating the problems, but the ones at the bottom have to work out solutions to all problems that are created from those that are at the top. So if you know, who are the ones that are problem solving all the time? The ones at the bottom. But clearly how we're solving our problems at the bottom isn't working, because us at the bottom are not giving ourselves worth. We are giving worth to a dollar, to a currency, to gold, to silver. We're putting our value in something that's external and not seeing that nothing can be produced without the energy that's within this body. You know, this body has energy. This body has value. This body has worth. But if you don't see your own worth, if you don't see your own value, if you don't demand, hey, I'm worth something, I have something to produce, I have something of value, if you are not saying that out loud and you give in to putting value into that dollar, then that's when our systems completely collapse. When we're going to experience this global depression, food's going to stop flowing, transportation's going to stop flowing, and we haven't gotten rid of the energy that makes everything work. We are just not putting any value towards the energy that makes everything work and flow. And what makes our energy, our personal energy, what makes the flow of things work without money? And it's love. David Icke is coming up with some really amazing stuff, and he's kind of suggested that, oh, the answer is unlimited love. But he hasn't quite put those pieces of the puzzle together. And if you love yourself, the only way you can experience your love is by giving it away. Give your love to other people. Give your love of understanding. Give your love of compassion for other people. Your worth, put it out there. And allow other people, send and receive love. Allow somebody else to give you their love. And when we start having this exchange of love, then we'll see an economic system flow. A farmer will love farming, and in order to experience his farming greatness, he has to share his food with all others to be able to see that expression of it. So then we would eat. There are people that are in transportation that love what they do, and they can participate with farmers so that they can transport things. There are scientists. There are so many people. I'll continue.